We are entering the third week of the Epstein scandal. I hope I don't have to cover it tomorrow night. I'm even sick of it at this point. I'm sick of covering it. But the damage control is unbelievable. We're entering the third week of damage control on the Department of Justice memo, which is effectively a cover-up of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. And as we've covered the cover-up and the distractions and pivots and diversions, we have covered Trump trying to hand-wave it away. Why is anyone talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Why does anyone care? We've covered Trump saying it's a Democrat hoax. They made up the Russiagate. Now they're making this up. It's all fake. We covered Trump attacking his own base, saying, if you aren't on board with the cover-up, you're not even my real supporter. You're doing the Democrats' work for them, and I don't want you to support me. We covered his attempt to simultaneously appease the rebellious base by instructing the Attorney General to ask the court to unseal the grand jury testimony at the same time that they released all these MLK Jr. files in an attempt to distract everybody with some other disclosure. Now, we have, I can't even believe I'm saying this, there's yet another, what is this, the fifth, sixth? Is this the sixth, new strategy to get people to stop talking about Epstein? Today, Trump, his new big diversion is to tell everybody that he's going to arrest Barack Obama. So he posted an AI video on Truth Social of Barack Obama being arrested by the FBI, which maybe that would have been funny a few years ago. Honestly, it would have been funny if it actually happened. This is sort of what Trump does. Trump will post things on social media that are not real when he has real power. He hints or suggests that he might do something that he has the power to do but won't, and his fans cheer it on as though it actually happened. People are saying, oh, the absolute madman. He posted a video of Obama being arrested by the FBI. Hey, guys, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. He's the president of the United States. You know, he could do that. That could be a real video. He could arrest Barack Obama. He got arrested. Mar-a-Lago got raided by the FBI. He had to appear in court in Manhattan. If the Democrats could bring charges against Trump, then Trump can bring charges against Obama and have the FBI arrest him and detain him. He can do that too. But you have all these Trump supporters seeing AI slop, which gestures towards that, and says, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? And they take it for the real thing. Oh, the absolute madman. He posted this AI video.
We are looking at what can only be described as a masterclass in transparent damage control, now entering its third week. The Department of Justice's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files has sparked a genuine firestorm, and the response from the Trump camp has been a series of increasingly desperate deflections. The latest stunt? A simulated, AI-generated video posted on Truth Social depicting the FBI arresting Barack Obama. A few years ago, this kind of online provocation might have elicited a laugh from his base. But today, the context is entirely different. Trump is the President of the United States. He possesses the actual, unilateral authority of the executive branch to investigate and prosecute if there were real substantive charges to be brought. Instead of wielding that power, he resorts to posting digital illusions, I slup to entertain his followers. It is a striking contradiction, hinting at actions he has the power to take but refuses to execute, all while hoping the shiny object of an Obama arrest distracts the public from the very real, very uncomfortable questions surrounding the Epstein client list. The base is being asked to accept a digital fantasy in place of actual accountability, and the cracks in that strategy are starting to show.
Trump has already been president for 4 years. Why did he not arrest Hillary Clinton in the first term? Why did he not arrest Barack Obama and Ratcliffe and James Clapper and James Comey? Why did he not arrest them in the first term? If we're so an absolute madman, if we're so out there, if we're so hardcore, he could have done it. He should have done it. He promised to do it, but he didn't. Once again, he is the president of the United States. He is rounding up anti-Semites that have criticized Israel. They are being deported. He's rounding up and arresting a lot of people that may or may not be deported in the future. But he is not bringing charges against Obama or Comey or Clapper or Clinton or any of them. He's posting AI videos of himself doing that. And this is part of his big diversion. Today in the Oval Office, he is talking about going after Obama. Why? Because of how Obama treated Trump in the 2016 election 9 years ago. And this is the story. This is from the New York Times. It says, quote, President Trump under fire over his administration's handling of the Epstein files, escalated his distract and deflect strategy on Tuesday, accusing former President Obama of treason and declaring it's time to go after people. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Mr. Trump condemned questions about the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein as sort of a witch hunt, and then launched into a rant against a now familiar string of rivals in the media. He said the witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama, referring to a report from Tulsi Gabbard that tried to undermine the 8-year-old assessment that Russia favored his election in 2016. Trump said Obama was trying to lead a coup, and it was with Hillary Clinton. Okay, this was 9 years ago. For anybody keeping score, this was 9 years ago. This is before, not the previous election, not the election before that, but the election before that. He says, after Mr. Trump's attack on Mr. Obama, reports continued to surface about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. CNN published photos of Mr. Epstein at Mr. Trump's 1993 wedding to Marla Maples. The president then listed even more enemies that he wanted his DOJ to target, including the former FBI director James Comey and James Clapper Jr., the former director of national intelligence, and former President Joe Biden. Do people not see what is going on here? It's not just me, right? This is transparent. This is happening out in the open. And it's almost unbelievable that it's this bad of a fumble. And I remember when Trump was asked about it a year ago by the press, they said, are you going to declassify JFK, 9/11? Yes, yes. Will you declassify Epstein? Yes. Wait, maybe not. Some people are in there and they're innocent. I remember seeing that, and there was some buzz about it last year. I didn't think that much of it. I didn't think it would snowball. But look at what it has become. And it started with that stupid photo op. That stupid photo op where they invited D.C. Drano. That's because they're going to drain the swamp in D.C. Rogan O'Hanley, who's Jewish, actually. Scott Presler, Jack Posobiec, Numbnuts, Mike Cernovich, the genius mastermind. They invite who knows the plan. They invited all these people to the White House and gave them these binders. Look, everybody, most transparent administration. Here, dummies. Here, you stupid dumb animals. Here's your stupid prop binders. Now go and fuck off so we can give corporate tax cuts and foreign aid and missiles to Israel. That's how it started. And people said, hey, wait a second, Mr. Trump, no files. There's no new disclosures. Oh, yeah, it's on my desk. We'll do it later. And then they try to bury it. There's this weird insinuation by Elon Musk, who has a black eye in the Oval Office, that Trump is in the files. Trump doesn't even address it. He's fuming. A week later, we're at war with Iran. Then, a day before Netanyahu visits the White House, the Department of Justice clears the way by saying there is no Epstein scandal. It's all fake. What a weird turn of events. And now we're in the middle of what is the third week of the scandal, where once again, we're in this transparent cover-up where people are saying, hey, man, you got to arrest the pedophiles that were on the island that knew Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein had clients. He had his private jet, this island. He had this condo. He's got the tape recorder and the cameras always rolling while he procures minors to traffic them for sex. We need to know who's involved in this. We need to know who and why and who he was working for and what was going on, and they need to see accountability. Trump refuses to do it. They're actually closing Congress early for the summer recess to avoid forcing a vote on it. And Trump is now telling us, well, we're going to go after Obama for the 2016 election. You know, I remember in 2022, people were saying it's time to move past the 2020 election. Think of this. In the 2022 midterms, people were telling Trump, we need to move beyond the 2020 presidential election. Well, it is 2025, 6 months into our golden age. You feel it? And we're relitigating the 2016 election and talking about Obama cheated. And I want to play this clip from you. If this isn't doing it justice, this is what Trump had to say about it. This is what he's coaching Republicans, how they should respond to any future questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to play it for you. And I'll tell you, this is a tough watch. And I'll pull it up here on the screen so you can see it.
And remember, don't let them forget, it's so important, Obama cheated on the election. Look, the camera just went off. Obama, the red light just went off. Can you believe these people, how bad they are? Obama cheated when they give you all nonsense. Obama cheated, and his people cheated, but he was there. You ever hear this? They talk about, if they ever even mention it, they never mention his name. Just the opposite with me. But they only mention my name. They don't mention any of you guys. They don't mention Tom. They don't mention Steve. They don't mention our great speaker. They mention Trump all the time. I'd like to have them mention you. But remember this, Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because the stuff that's coming in is not even believable. So, and you should mention that every time they give you a question that's not appropriate. Just say, oh, by the way, Obama cheated on the election. You'll watch the camera turn off instantly. But I want to thank all.
And listen to the forced laughter. You hear the forced laughter? You are in damage control. Your house is on fire. This is like the, this is fine meme. Your house is burning down. You are dying up there. You are politically being killed by this.
The desperation in the Oval Office is becoming impossible to ignore. Rather than addressing the growing public outcry over the Epstein files, we see an escalation of what the press is rightly calling a distract and deflect strategy. President Trump is now coaching congressional Republicans on how to handle press inquiries. If anyone asks about Epstein, simply deflect by claiming Barack Obama cheated in the 2016 election. Think about the sheer absurdity of this. We are in 2025, supposedly 6 months into a new golden age, yet the administration is actively trying to relitigate an election from nearly a decade ago to shield itself from scrutiny. This isn't just a political pivot, it is an admission of vulnerability. Trump is telling his allies to bring up old Russiagate grievances to force the cameras to turn off. But the public isn't buying it. People do not care about a 9-year-old FISA warrant on Trump Tower nearly as much as they care about why the Department of Justice is seemingly blocking the unsealing of files related to the most prolific sex trafficker in modern American history. The forced laughter from the staff in those press briefings tells you everything you need to know. The house is on fire, and the old playbook of grievances is failing to extinguish the flames.
CBS polls showed that the 18 to 29 demographic, he's down 54 points, minus 54 points from where he was among 18 to 29-year-olds. That's according to a CBS poll because of this Epstein scandal. You are being roasted alive over this Epstein scandal. And he's going to make this insinuation. If I talk about Obama, they don't want me to talk about that. They're going to turn the cameras off because that's super controversial. No, it isn't. No one gives a shit about that anymore. That was 10 years ago. The time to litigate that was when you were president the first 4 years. Now you want us to care about Obama and Russiagate, and you got impeached for it. You beat the impeachment. That was 10 years ago. Now we're supposed to say, don't post that Obama cheated in the election. CNN won't cover that. No, you are afraid of anybody talking about Epstein. What do you mean they turned the cameras off? Nobody turned the camera. You see the camera go off? Nobody turned the cameras off. You turn the cameras off when you get asked about Jeffrey Epstein. And what do people care more about? That Obama authorized a FISA warrant on Trump Tower in 2016? Or that you are covering up for the most prolific pedophile sex trafficker in American history? Which do you think people care more about? That Obama, our political enemies, accused you of spying and you beat the impeachment and won the election anyway? Or that you are currently engaged with your DOJ in a cover-up against the supposed degenerate elites that you deride right now when you're the president? And this is what I said at the beginning of the show. Are you starting to see my frustration with the bullshitting? The jokey voice pretending to stifle a laugh? The jokey, weird, insincere voice that he's doing, this character he's doing, pretending to be amused, the forced laughter of the audience. These are the only people left on his side. The only people that are fighting for him are the people that now work for him and depend on him for a job. Everybody else is finished with this. Listen to this.
And remember, don't let them forget, it's so important, Obama cheated on the election. Look, the camera just went off. Obama, the red light just went off.
The red light no one's laughing, man. No one's laughing. No one's laughing except for the people that work for you. There's no laughter other than the forced laughter of the only remaining numbskull loyalists that are still at the White House or Mar-a-Lago. They just turned the camera off. It's not funny. We are not with you. And, you know, it's sort of sad. You see Trump as a completely diminished figure. You think of him at one point as embodying the power of the bully pulpit. Such a powerful force of personality and the ability to bully, and basically through sheer force of will, to get to corral his own base, his own party, Republican officials, to bend to his will. You think about him in 2016 during the election, he was like a shark, he was like a bull. And you think about him even in 2024, and, you know, I think he was diminished even then. But the aura, the fight, 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 he rose his fist and he got up and that was badass. And you see him now pleading with Republicans and the voters. Don't think about Epstein. Only think about Obama, okay? Only think about Obama, okay? This is what we're going to do. Pleading, begging. And it's not working. It's not even convincing. It's so incompetent. It's so stupid. Oh, now we're all going to talk about Obama? Really? Is anyone going for that? Oh, sure. Yeah, okay, I care about Obama now. Are you kidding me? Forced vaccines, hyperinflation, 10 million illegal immigrants, everything that's happened. Oh, okay, I care about Obama now. I care about the 2016 FISA warrant now. Okay, Mr. President. If they ask me about Jeffrey Epstein, I'm going to chortle and say, how about Obama? Are you fucking kidding me? Is anyone buying this? And he's programming the base to coaching them. If anyone asks about Epstein, this is what you're going to tell them. And you kind of look to your right and look to your left and say, who's buying this? Do you even believe this? Do you even believe your own nonsense? Or are you really that far gone? Are you really mentally challenged? And I said this last night. It got picked up by CNN. It was on CNN today. The worst part about it is he's lying. He knows he's lying. We know he's lying. He knows we know he's lying. And he knows that we know that he knows that he's lying, and he doesn't even care. So this is just an exercise. The jig is up. You know it's over. You know this isn't working. You know you're scrambling. You're not going to power of positive thinking your way out of this one. You can't bullshit your way out of this one. And you realize it's actually kind of a scary development. You realize there's nothing there.
The political fallout of this cover-up is now reflecting in the data. A recent CBS poll indicates a devastating 54-point drop for Trump among the critical 18 to 29 demographic. This isn't just a minor fluctuation. It represents a generational rejection of the current establishment's excuses. What we are witnessing is the tragic decline of a figure who once completely dominated the American political landscape through the sheer power of the bully pulpit. In 2016, Trump was an unstoppable force, a political disruptor who commanded the loyalty of millions by promising to take on the corrupt elite. Even in 2024, that aura of defiance persisted. But today, the contrast is stark and sobering. He appears diminished, vulnerable, and ultimately hollow. Instead of leading with conviction, he is reduced to pleading with his supporters, begging them to look away from the Epstein scandal and focus on decade-old political rivalries. The charismatic outsider has transitioned into a defensive politician using the very same bureaucratic maneuvers he once derided. There is no deeper ideology or grand strategy left under the hood. There is only a scramble for self-preservation. When a leader's entire brand is built on strength, showing this level of weakness to protect degenerate elites is a fatal blow.
There's nothing real under the hood at all. Beneath all of it, the look, the bravado, the bombast, but beneath all of it, there's nothing. There's no person in there anymore. Has there ever been a person? Have you ever seen a moment of candor, of maybe a spiritual life, anything emotional? Have you ever, for all of the things that people have ascribed to the president, all of the meaning that people project and ascribe onto these photographs and the speeches, and this was really meaningful, this was really deep, oh, he's the best to ever do it. It seems like that was all in your imagination. He represents kind of like bravado for its own sake. The way to get out of this would be a moment of candor. Maybe there would be some kind of respect for the game, an ounce of humility to think this isn't working. There's nothing in there. At the bottom of it, it's just this old man telling us, oh, Obama, it's Biden. Biden can't hit a drive like that. Obama cheated in the election. There's nothing there. There's no ideology. There's no conviction. There's no deep belief, true belief in anything other than it seemed, and I sound like a resistance liberal right now. I sound like Stephen Colbert. But it seems like there's no conviction in anything other than himself at the bottom of it. And that's sad, and it's disturbing, and you can't support that anymore. How could anyone support this? On some level, there's not even a patriotism. There's no loyalty to the cause. There's no loyalty to the base, to a doctrine, to a religion, to a church, to a man. There's nothing there. He's taken himself out of the game. Think about it. And there's almost something poetic. I'm going to shift back to the big screen here. There's almost something poetic about it. They impeached him. They sabotaged him. They tried to steal the election a bunch of times. They shot him. They charged him. They convicted him, raided his house, went after his family, went after his people, arrested his supporters, dragged his name through the mud, accused him of being a rapist. He overcame all of it. He won the election. Against all odds, he did everything and anything necessary to come out on top. And what was the thing to do him in? Was it the grand conspiracy of the Democrats? Was it fate itself? Was it mortality? It was himself. He did himself in. He finished himself off. Over this, 2 weeks, struggling and scrambling and dying and losing supporters left and right and doing deep, deep, lasting damage to his legacy and his brand. And it's him. It's weird. You can't even look at him the same way. It's not the same person. I said this throughout the year during the election. I said the guy in 2016 that almost moved you to tears when he said, you know, to every child who dreams for their future, every parent who dreams for their child, I will fight for you. I will win for you. I am your voice. I will deliver a real victory. You know, you realize these are words that someone else wrote for him, that he read, that he thought sounded good. We kind of attached our hopes onto him. Maybe it was always like this, but it's just not the same anymore. The magic is gone. This is not the Trump from 16. Maybe the Trump from 16 wasn't even what existed in our imaginations. But it's like kind of a crushing, this 2 weeks has been crushing and brutal. Now, I hopped off the Trump train a year ago, at least. I've been critical for many, many years, but last year is when I said, I'm out. I can't vote for it. But it's almost spiritually crushing because you are emotionally attached to it. He's been a part of my life for 10 years. Huge, instrumental in my life as a young, precocious political person. He means something to me. He means something to all of us. Love him, hate him. He stirs us because he is this monumental figure. And you see him now so diminished and so weak and so vulnerable and seemingly so hollow and empty. And it's like, it's kind of tragic. It's like a tragic fall from grace. It's like this tragic whimper. You know, you almost expected, how was the story going to end? Was Trump going to get his head blown off in Butler, Pennsylvania? Was he going to get thrown in jail? Was it going to be this climactic, dramatic? And instead, it's like, no, he's going to cover up for Epstein. He's just like the rest of them. And then he's going to show what a hollow, thin person he is, scrambling to cover it up and pivot for 2 weeks, lashing out at his base, making up nonsense, lying to our faces without even caring about it. And you see what's left. Cat Turd, Laura Loomer, and Mark Levin. Not like this, guys. Not like this, Trump guys. And when all is said and done, at the end of the world, who's left? Cat Turd, Mark Levin, Jeffrey Epstein, Laura Loomer, Howard Lutnick. These fucking pieces of shit, scumbag, sycophant, craven opportunists, traitors to our country. Less so. Cat Turd I just see as like clueless. But the other ones, I mean, they epitomize what's wrong with the country. Not good. So, you know, he wants us to all say Obama. Oh, if you get asked about Epstein, just say Obama. It's like, yeah, okay, dude. For the first time ever, even like a diehard Trump supporter has to kind of roll their eyes and go, yeah, okay, man, whatever. Sure, dude, you're just like the rest of them. How salient that is. Used to say that about Obama. When Obama would get up and lecture us about this and that and lie to our faces, you say, fuck off, Obama. And now Trump goes up there and you say, fuck off, Trump, you liar, bullshitting politician. Wasn't he supposed to be in the antithesis? And he gets up there and he say, you bullshitting politician, get out of my face, you lying traitor. It's sad. And it's not even personal. I mean, this is just what it is. I mean, of course it's personal for all of us, but it's just what it is. Like, this is such a sad display. That clip, I just can't even, you look at him and what used to be charming is now insufferable. What you used to look on him when he does this jokey thing and you think that's so endearing and charming, tells it like it is, rough around the edges. He's a great comedian. Now you look at it and shake your head and you go, what are you thinking? This is not playing like you think it is. This is rough stuff, dude. Sad. It's a sad day. So that's the Trump-Obama pivot. Oh, now they want to arrest Obama. Don't hold your breath. And the best part is they're not even going to do it. It's just like with the MLK Jr. disclosure. Do you know that MLK Jr.'s daughter? So the big diversion this weekend is that Trump released the MLK Jr. files, and nothing was contained in them. Nothing good was even in those. And that was meant to distract us. Oh, look at this other disclosure. Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter today said to Trump, now release the Epstein files. You're getting cooked, dude. You're getting cooked alive. And all the Trump supporters can say is, it's an unforced error. Whoever did this needs to be fired. They're fumbling so hard. It's not them, dude. It's him. Can't stump the Trump. He got stumped. Teflon Don, he got hit. This is rough. It's ugly. Not working. Sad. Sad. Very, very sad. I told you it was like this. No one listened. I saw this clip. The last thing I'll say, then we'll move on to Iran. I do want to touch on Iran tonight. Well, you know what? We're running out of time. I actually can't. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. The last thing I'll say is this. I found a clip of my show, and I promise this isn't just, I guess it is a little self-indulgent, but I found this clip from my show last year where I said, okay, so now they're making Justice League edits of RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek and Trump. I'm like, this content sucks. This isn't funny. It's not cool. It's not based. This whole thing is just terrible. And I said this a year ago. That's how I felt a year ago. I was looking at it and saying, Trump is not engaging. These rallies are not fun. They're not funny. They're not interesting. What's the appeal? He's not even that based anymore. He's like getting worse. He's old. He's slow. He's monotonous. He's repetitive. Like, this just sucks. And you can say, well, who cares? He's old and it is what it is. But it's like, no, everyone's pretending it's still magical. And now a year later, I feel like everybody kind of sees what I mean by that. Now everyone's like, wow, I guess I never. And it goes to show how powerful, people's penchant to persuade themselves really is. You know what I'm saying? Now it's kind of all hitting at the same time. Iran, amnesty, Epstein, you name it. And people are like, whoa, Trump does look kind of pathetic. But he looked pathetic a year ago. But people have such an ability to trick themselves. People have such an ability through groupthink because of, everyone's on board and we're kind of being told what to think about it. And people think that's what they think about it, but they don't. They're being told to think a certain way. People have such a power for self-deception. It is such a challenge to remain objective. And to be objective, you have to be willing to displease everybody. You have to be an asshole. You don't want to be the guy that isn't Roman saluting Hitler. You don't want to be the guy that's got his arms folded, that's not cheering in the grandstand. You know what I'm saying? Like a year ago, nobody was fucking with this, but they said to themselves, no, it's good. It's good. It's pretty good stuff. Because there was just this powerful self-delusion. And I was the dick who was like, no, this is crap. This is not funny. Staying alive edits are not funny. They will never be funny. None of this shit is funny, and it's not based.
There is a poetic, albeit tragic, irony to how this chapter is closing. For 10 years, Donald Trump survived every coordinated effort by his opponents to destroy him. He overcame impeachments, criminal indictments, federal raids, and assassination attempts. He did everything necessary to climb back to the absolute pinnacle of power. Yet in the end, it wasn't his political enemies or the deep state that did him, it was himself. This self-inflicted wound over the Epstein files has shattered the remaining illusion of his populist movement. For years, supporters projected their own hopes, patriotism, and desire for justice onto him, believing he was their voice. But this crisis has revealed a harsh reality. There is no underlying doctrine, no loyalty to the base, and no genuine desire to drain the swamp. The magic is gone. What remains is a circle of opportunistic sycophants defending the indefensible, while the broader public finally wakes up from a decade of self-deception. Remaining objective in politics requires a willingness to face uncomfortable truths, even when it displeases those around you. The reality we must face now is that the populist champion of 2016 was an illusion we constructed, and his quiet capitulation on the Epstein scandal is the final whimper of a bygone era.